So everybody, it is Erin, and sorry for the raspy voice. I'm kind of losing my voice here. I got an amazing little new product called Etched, and it does some fun things. This is one of the things, and it does etching on glass, mirror, porcelain. It kind of says everything on here. Glass, mirror, marble, slate, ceramic glazes, matte finish for paint, ink, and dimensional paste. So it's called Etched. It's an etching cream. It's reusable, which I love is pretty cool. And I got given these by a friend, and she had stickers all over it. And these are just little glass jars. Reminds me of the Yoo-hoo jars that you get. And you can still see, I don't know if you guys can see, but this one's right here. It's got stickers on it, and I actually let these soak for a long time in water and then washed them off, and it still wasn't getting clean. This one actually had some stickers. You can still see some of the orange that is on there. So I was playing around with different ways to get it off, and I have and this thing has gotten wet, which is why it's all gross, my British Monroe Squeaky Clean Stamp Cleaner, and I've been spraying it on here and then just kind of using my finger, and it's coming off like magic. Super, super simple. So I'm just cleaning all these off, and so it's getting that sticker residue off, no problem. So my first step is I'm going to take these 3 jars and I'm going to clean them and get them all nice and clean. So I'm going to skip forward to that and show you the next step. So in our set, now that I've got my jars all nice and clean, and I just knocked that on the table. I did test one, but I'm not going to show you yet, so hang on. I got these etch masks, and it's basically a sticky material that you can cut in all of your various cutting, Cricut, all that kind of stuff. I've not tried punches yet, but it ran through no problem on my cutter. And what we're going to do is I'm going to cut out a series of strips. So I'm going to move that off to the side, and right now I'm just going to cut these strips at a 1/2 inch and probably do about 10 to 15 of them. All right, after using my Squeaky Clean Stamp Cleaner, I went to my jars and I just washed them off with a little soap just to get any kind of residue that may be on there. So they're nice and dry, they're nice and clean. Not worried about fingerprints because it's just glass. And what I'm gonna do is we are gonna create some fun patterns and designs using strips. If you wanted to do straight lines across here, but I'm gonna kind of do some zigzag patterns on here and kind of have fun with that. So I'm gonna take you through a few and then speed up the rest. I can get this thing apart. Basically, this is like a really good tacky contact paper, but it does not leave any form of residue on the glass or the mirror or anything. It comes off beautifully. I've been able to reposition this, so even if I stick it down, I can peel it off and it's not leaving anything. But once it's secure, it doesn't allow the cream to get through to etch what's underneath it, so it becomes a resist. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start and just kind of put my tape on here and then have fun. And I really want to make sure I kind of leave this nice and taut. Make sure I don't stick the bottom of the glass. And just start making cool patterns. And as I lay it down, I'm pulling my strip nice and tight to make sure I don't have any bubbles. Then I'm running my hand all along here. If you're looking inside my little tub, I have a squeegee. And you can use a squeegee, but because I'm going around shapes and circles, it's not going to look too even. And so I'm just really making sure that my finger is doing a really good job of kind of pushing down and making sure that there's no bubbles. That means the etching cream won't get underneath this little piece here. If it does this, I'm not too concerned, as long as all the way to the edge, like right there. The middle, I'm not worried about, it's the edge. And just make sure it gets all nice and tight. I'm going to then take another strip. And I'm just doing fun patterns. I'm not doing anything specific. Lines. I'm not trying to make like a plaid shape or anything. I'm just making fun patterns in the glass. I'm going to overlap this just a tiny, tiny bit. And continue. I'm going to run down this way now. And even if it goes down, try and angle this a little bit differently. So if you don't like the way it's angling, go back and re-angle it. I want to have it come up here this time. And eventually, you're going to create all these fun patterns. Now keep in mind, wherever the tape is, that's what's going to be not etched. Wherever it's below, that's what's going to be etched. So all of this is going to get etched. I'm not going to go all the way up to the lip. I'm just going to kind of stay to the lower end because we're going to put something at the top of this in a minute. All right, so now I've gone through and I've actually created kind of a top lip here. This one has a little bit more. It's okay if it comes to a V. but where the top of this strip is, I'm not going to go that far. So when I apply my etching cream, I'm staying below this top band. So etching cream is reusable, so I'm going to go ahead and pile this on. I'm hoping that I can get what's left in this bottle I'm able to do on both of these jars. I'm not going to run myself short. So I'm going to go ahead and apply. And when I was doing all the research on doing this and when I did my practice, see how you can still see some of the glass? That means I haven't added enough. And the stuff is pretty thick, so I'm basically going to glop it on, but I'm using my little wand here to apply it specifically. But see, you can pretty much apply it as thick as possible, therefore it'll do its job. So I'm going to speed this up and basically just use this, not going above my line here. I just want to have the etching towards the bottom of the jar. And just keep coating it on and getting it on my jar. Alright, so I went ahead and put a paper towel underneath my little jars. That way if they kind of drip down, and I'm not worried about if they drip down because that part's all getting etched anyway. That's why I would not want to turn them upside down because I don't want them dripping above my line. I have kind of a cutoff line. If you want to make sure they don't drip past a certain point, then you'd want to make sure you tape that off. Cover up whatever it is that you did not want it to have etching. This one's been going for about 5 minutes already. They need 15 minutes. So this guy needs 10 more minutes. This one needs another 15. And then we'll come back and we'll clean them up. So in the meantime, I'm going to start cleaning up around here and let them go do their thing. All right, these have been going definitely longer than 15 minutes. I actually ended up getting sidetracked with a few other things. So in here, I just have some plain old tap water in a plastic container. And I have some old etch-all on this. What I'm first going to do is I'm going to take my etch-all container, open it up, wipe my little squeegee down, kind of clean with some water, and this stuff is reusable. The stuff that's on my container, on my little mat here, I'm not going to worry about. All that's on here, you can wipe off and put right back in the jar. So that's what I'm going to do now, is kind of clean all of it off with my little squeegee here, and put it back in the jar and speed it up. So you're going to have a little bit of loss. My jar has gone from being here to here, and I've done about 3 projects. So there's some that's still on here. There's some that kind of gets, mucked up. There's some that actually, it just gets used up, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So just going to wipe off your container, get yourself all clean, clean off your squeegee. This I throw away. I didn't want to get it on my craft mat because I don't know how that would react to that. So I have just a little paper towel. And I've actually had the same jar going on because I've done 2 or 3 projects all in the span of the same couple of days. And then after this, I'll just make sure I throw this away. One thing to do comment on though is that if you do go to your sink and wash all this off, if you have a porcelain sink, it's going to affect your porcelain sink. So just be careful with that. So at this point, we're going to kind of wipe it down. One thing you do not want to do is pull off any of your plastic or your tape until you've cleaned off all of the etching stuff, because you don't want to pull off and etch where you don't want it to be. And if I get a little bit up here and it creates kind of a fun texture, that's fine. I'm not too worried about that. So just wipe it all down, everything nice and clean, find your line, and all this tape goes straight in the trash. You don't reuse this tape. So this all goes in the trash. Alright, so here's what our little jars look like. They're really cool. They have all these really kind of fun, almost zebra or just random stripes going across them. It looks kind of fun, but I want to add kind of a fun topper. So I found this really pretty teal rope. This is from Campus Core. And we're just going to wind it around the top. All I'm going to do is I'm going to find my end. I'm going to use 1 jar as my guide. And then from there, I'll determine how many more loops the other ones need as well. So I gotta find the end first. Aha, there it is. So I want to cover up part of this section too. So I'm just going to keep on adding, and this is Beacon 3-in-1 glue. Go across the top. I don't need to do the entire section, but I do want to do the very top lip, just to create kind of a barrier. But I don't need to really coat this entire thing. So I'm just going to start. I'm probably going to do about 6 or 7 loops, maybe even more. Start with the top, and then just wind it down. It's a tacky glue, so it's going to secure this in. It's just creating a pretty little lip up at the top of our jar. Any color rope would work. I just really like this teal color. That kind of acted as a cool, can change of pace. You want to use a natural color rope. You want to do green, red. You could make this for Christmas, Halloween. You know, there's so many ideas that you could do with this. You could make this little jack-o'-lantern faces. That'd be pretty cool. You know, cut out all the strips so it looks like you got a jack-o'-lantern on your jar. That really would be really sweet. Do Christmas trees on there. You do polka dots. You know, put a whole series of little dots on here. So many ideas. Just keep on rolling it, make it nice and tight. There is that little ledge there, so you are going to come across that barrier. That's fine, just keep on rolling it around. And just put a little bit more glue right up to where I'm going to finish. And making sure that my end and my front are kind of the same point. There we go, just like that. Just creates kind of a fun little cap at the top of this thing. Do that for the same other two. I'm going to go ahead and do the same color for all 3, but you could definitely change it up. So I'm putting these on the background of a yellow just so you can kind of see the difference in the contrast. It's really kind of hard to see them on this other background. So you can use these jars for a multitude of different things. I'm going to take some pictures. You can use them as flower vases, as collection jars, put money in them. If you're on a beach, put some sea glass in them. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with these fun things. Coins, you name it. They're just fun little ways of kind of sprucing up an old jar that you may have sitting around, left over. Think bottles, all that kind of stuff. You can do fun faces. You can even put a votive in here and it becomes a really cool candle. So many ideas. This is just one of many, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much. All the supplies you're going to see for the plastic wrap, the etching cream, the rope, everything, check down below, hit the more section, and you'll see links to all those fun supplies. So thanks so much. Please subscribe. See you again soon. Bye-bye.